Opportunities are all around, but a lot of times we miss them because we're not in the present moment. We're in our heads thinking about what we did that we're not very pleased with, or what we need to get done still. This used to be me all the time. I would often miss people that know me that were trying to say hi in the neighborhood when I'm running around. I didn't hear them because I'm in my head thinking about what I have to get done. So recently I have been slowing down. I just made a decision because I work really hard, and I have for a long time, and that's not a bad thing. But for me, and we all have different goals and personal challenges that it'll help us to identify and overcome these, and this is one of mine. I needed to teach myself how to slow down a little bit. So I've recently just been making some new choices, and I want to share with you. I wasn't going to tell that many people. I told a couple close friends of mine because it's just my personal little thing, but what the heck, I'll just tell everybody because it's a cool story. At least for me. So I shared how I used to be running around, always focused on what I have to do next, what I have to get done, and sometimes not even stopping to chat with people because I'm too focused on what I need to get done. So it's been a long, slow progression, and over the years where I've been improving, but more recently I decided to make the change now, rather than saying, once I achieve this in my career, then I'll relax and slow down. Once I get here, then I'll make these different choices. Once I achieve this, maybe then I'll take a vacation, because I never take vacation. I'm not really that big on vacation, but anyhow, different side note. So last weekend I had a project that I was working on, and I worked on it for several hours, and it was a gorgeous day. So I said, I'm going to reward myself with a walk. And I went for a walk on the East River. It was so beautiful out. It was so nice. And then I was going to walk further on the East River, but then something said, I just feel like going a different way, but I feel like walking more. And then I said, where do I feel like walking? Which direction? And I decided to walk over toward Central Park. And I walked towards Central Park, and I walked around a little bit. And then there are many different streets that I could walk back down on. And the street that I chose to walk down on, I noticed as I was walking back, a lot of people were gathered outside of a fancy hotel in my neighborhood. And so I said, what are you guys doing? And they said, we think that Tom Cruise is going to come out. So I said, oh, well, I'll wait a little bit. Now, in the past, I never would have done that. I would have been like, I don't have time. I have to get back home. I have to work on my project. But I said, I'll wait a little bit. And I waited with the crowd for about 30 minutes. And then guess what? Tom Cruise came out. And there was the crowd that had been waiting for 2 or 3 hours. They were up close and getting autographs. I'm not a big autograph person anyway, but just to see him and be close to him and be in that energy, I could feel his energy, and it was really positive. He was really nice. He came out, he waved, he signed autographs. And in the past, I would have completely missed that experience. Right in my neighborhood, here's Tom Cruise, actually on my street. This was actually on my street. I don't always walk back all the way from the park on my street, but that day I did. And had it been a different time, had I gotten there an hour earlier, for example, if my day had led me to different choices, I would have missed that opportunity because I wouldn't have waited for an hour. Maybe I would have now with my new state of mind. But when we slow down, and we get present, then we can hear ourselves, our instincts. And my instincts that day led me to be able to see Tom Cruise. And this might sound super silly to some people watching, but it was great. And that was a big win for me. And I'm celebrating that win. Just my ability to now slow down and just let things come to me a little bit. You may have heard me talk before about how there's a time to drive, but then there's also a time to slow down so that you can receive what it is you are looking for. So I just wanted to share that. If you enjoyed the video, I invite you to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.